Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Welcome to Adobe Live. Welcome to Better Know a Brush. Today we're here with Kathleen. My name is Elissa Welsh, and I'm a designer here at Adobe, and I work on Project Gemini. So we're going to be looking at Project Gemini today, and we're super excited to show you. So Kathleen, you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. I think people might know me in the chat. I host Adobe Live quite often, daily creative challenges, all kinds of good stuff. But I'm also a designer and illustrator here at Adobe on the Adobe Studio team. I think a bunch of studio people are watching. What's up, everyone? Thank you for your support. And if you're an Adobe person in chat, give us a shout out. I see Brooke. That's awesome. So I work on like inspirational learning content. If you know the 1-minute videos on the YouTube channel, Creative Cloud YouTube channel, my team works on that good stuff. So yeah, I'm really excited to show off illustration in Gemini.
So everyone, tell us where you're from. We want to see where you're tuning in from. We have a chance to win 100 free stickers from Sticker Mule today. And if you don't win, you still are able to get 10 stickers for $1, which is a pretty good deal. So everyone, tell us where you're from, and we'll see you in the chat.
Yeah.
So today on Better Know a Brush, we're going to take a deep dive into all the aspects of brushes in digital art and painting. And in Gemini, we're really focused in this tool on the brushes because I think it's one of my favorite parts of Gemini. There's so many different things you can do with the brushes in here. We have pixel brushes, vector brushes, live brushes, watercolor and oil brushes, and it's going to be really fun to see that with fashion illustration today, which is what we're going to be looking at.
Yes, illustration, but make it fashion. And I saw, I think Kita in the chat was trying to guess what color shirt I was wearing. You were wrong. It's white. But Elisa's wearing yellow.
Yes, I'm wearing yellow today. Wanted to be bright for this fashion show that we're doing.
What's up, everyone in chat? Let's say hello. We got Jordan,
Redwood City, Florida, Sweden. Hello. Hello, Rumi from New York.
Wow.
Italy. Oh my goodness, Brazil. So many people from all over today.
Yeah, thanks for hanging out with us. There's Howard. Says, can't wait for Gemini.
We can't wait to show you.
It's right here.
Yes. So before we dive in, we're going to look at fashion illustration. We're going to look at ink, watercolor, oils, all in one app.
Yeah.
And do you want to talk a little bit about why you chose fashion illustration today?
Sure. So fashion illustration is a really great way to show mixed media usages in art. If you don't know anything about it, fashion illustration has been around pretty much since fashion has been around, whether it was really technical, drawn-out plans for garments or more kind of abstract illustrations that show the emotion and the movement of a garment, which is kind of what we're going to focus on today, because if you know my art, you know it's a little abstract, it's a little gestural, so I'm excited to show that. And then fashion illustration kind of disappeared once commercial photography became a big thing, kind of in the 60s, when it became more cost-effective to take pictures than to pay artists to paint things. But now that kind of digital art is becoming a bigger part of the general culture, especially.
We're bringing it back.
Yeah, we're bringing it back. So it's enjoying kind of a nice renaissance these days, and I want to show you a little bit about it. What's up, Wayne? Thanks for hanging out.
Kathleen also has her favorite brushes that you can get as well. So click on the link in the chat and you can see Kathleen's brushes.
Yeah, definitely. So we'll talk about this in a little bit, but Gemini has an awesome way to favorite brushes, and the brushes I've favorited in Gemini pretty much mirror the brushes that are in this pack. So you'll be able to kind of work alongside me in the same way.
Yeah, so who's ready to see? I think a lot of people are ready to see Gemini.
Yeah, we were talking, I think this is a lot of people's first time seeing Gemini, and I have it open on my iPad right now. Actually, yeah, this is the start screen.
Yep, this is the home screen, so this is where you'll see your documents. I can see that you've already had some fun playing around with all of the brushes and all the colors they're popping out.
Yeah, you can see some of Gus's drawings here at the bottom. So I can click into one of my already started sketches, and I'm gonna start with mixing watercolor and ink, like a sumi brush. But after that, I'm gonna let you chat pick what we do next. So let's jump into this first sketch. My Document 8. It's a very creative title. So here's Gemini. It's pretty cool. It's like a beautiful canvas for me to have fun in.
Lots of space for you to draw and paint and explore.
Yeah. So Anna's saying, what is Gemini? Can you explain?
Yeah, Gemini is a drawing and painting app on the iPad. So it's a focused, powerful drawing tool. So we have tons of different brushes that you can choose from that come with the app as you download it. We have your tools on the left side. As you can see, we have like the transform tool. We have a really cool lasso tool that you'll see later. We have the paint bucket tool, we have eyedropper tools, so we have all of these different things that can help you as you're drawing in your workflow. Yeah, that's the selection tool that we have. And you can go ahead and make a selection. We have combined the polygonal lasso tool by having it so that you can tap on a point, tap on another point, and it makes a straight line, and you can actually lift up your pen as you're drawing.
Yeah.
And then we have our layers on the right side. Yep, and then, yeah, you can combine that selection tool with your freehand lasso tool.
Yeah,
and you can
awesome.
do a bunch of really cool stuff in that.
Very cool. Cool, so yeah, we have our layers on the right. Let me go ahead and step back my silly doodles. And I'm just doing a double finger, a 2-finger tap to step backwards.
You can undo with that quick gesture.
Or redo with 3 fingers. So I'm just undoing, and then I have my layers on the right. So I have my sketch on this layer. You can turn it off, turn it on.
So Michael's asking, did you load the sketch or perform the sketch within Gemini? So you drew this in Gemini, right?
I did, but I'll actually show you. So I started with actually a picture I took. Look at this weird doodle. So I took a picture with my iPad of an actual sketchbook, I know, paper and pencil. And then on top of that, I wanted to kind of nail down my gesture a little bit better. So I drew that with the beautiful pencil in Gemini. It's one of my favorite brushes. I know it's basic, but it's amazing.
It's the best for sketching, I think, and starting off a drawing.
Yeah.
So there's the pixel brushes, as you can see that Kathleen just opened that panel right there. So we have a bunch of default brushes, and we worked with Kyle Webster, who I'm sure all of you know, to pick the right set of brushes for Gemini. So we have a huge range of super fun brushes. We have like brushes for comics, brushes for painting, like really strong brushes that I think replicate traditional like mixed media.
Yes.
We also have like our really cool sharp vector brushes as well. If you go down, those are our vector brushes.
And eventually, when we actually were to take this into like a desktop application, it would actually be a vector.
Yeah, so you can take it into Illustrator and adjust those vectors.
It's amazing. So you can mix raster, vector. Can't believe it.
Yeah. So I think there's a brush for everyone and like every type of work that you'd want to do here on Gemini.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and actually start drawing since that's my job here. We don't have that much time. But as I am drawing, Elissa, maybe people in the chat have more questions about the magic of Gemini.
Yeah, let us know what your questions are and what you'd like to see today.
And I am in the live brushes right now. So those would be like the oil brushes, watercolor. I'm gonna jump into actually watercolor.
And the reason that we call them live brushes is it's like they're actually live. So you can come back into your document anytime and you can look at your watercolor brush. You can start painting with another watercolor brush or another color, and it'll still be live. So those strokes will actually still bleed the next time you come back. So it's not like it's dried up, and you can always go back and mix your oil paints and your watercolors. So you'll see, if you're on the same layer and you start painting with different types of pixel brushes and the watercolor brush, those will blend together.
Yeah. So as you can see, I pulled my reference over here on the side with some multitasking magic with the iPad Pro. So here's my reference image by Tomo Koizumi. And I love the ruffles. It's very campy.
I love
We were
this,
talking about the Met Gala earlier, so I think
watched
it's perfect.
the Met Gala? Because that was such a fun thing to watch, to see all of the celebrities with their crazy gowns and costumes, and I feel like there's a lot of connection to camp here as well.
Yeah, it's very over the top. There's some, what did you call them? Quick scrub? Quick gestures?
Oh yeah, so there's a few quick like power gestures here. In Gemini. So Kathleen was actually scrubbing on the tool option. So as you can see there, the numbers. Yeah, so if you direct scrub on that little box with the number, you can change the size of your brushes really quickly. You can also tear that out and put it next to you as you're working. So if you're like trying to change the brush size as you're working, you can have that really close by.
Right. So I'm going to turn the flow way far down and make it very mixy. These are very technical terms, I know. And I'm gonna hopefully do some nice watercolor washes that allow a little bit of bleeding, like they're barely touching. You see? Look at this magic. And this is really how watercolors work, like on paper.
It feels, as you're using it, it feels like it replicates real life so well. But I think the cool thing about this is that you can have so much control over how much flow you have, how much water you have on your brush, how much pigment and color. So it's like you're using a real brush in real life, but it's less messy.
Yes, right. And it allows for some happy accidents, which in my work I'm always happy to stumble upon. It's very gestural, and like I mentioned, a lot of fashion illustration is kind of abstract. It's supposed to get that emotion across that the garment is supposed to invoke in real life once it's made. So I'm really excited to see how these kind of bleed. Howard says it's so satisfying. Yeah, let me zoom in a little bit.
Yeah, as you start to see things bleed together, you're just like, oh my God, it's so beautiful to watch.
And you know where you kind of need to maybe add a little bit more. Want some more water there, a little bit of a deeper pink, maybe add some pink to the blue. Make it purple, color theory. We should have a group draw with Kathleen.
Oh,
Kita,
perfect.
let's do it right now. You can use the brushes in the pack that I put together. Pop open Photoshop or whatever you'd like. Get it going. I'm gonna increase the flow, decrease the size, and add some really kind of concentrated pink in here. Nice.
So Paul's asking if you can create some vector shapes and transform them for us. Maybe later, if you're going to use some vector brushes.
Yeah, definitely. And the transformation doesn't work the same way as it might in Illustrator. So it's really just like painting with a brush and then erasing it. It's almost like painting with the blob brush in Illustrator, perhaps. But I will do that for sure.
Where did you get your inspiration for this dress?
Yeah, so it is the reference image over here. I follow a lot of fashion-y people on the internet.
So cool.
And I always save them in my collections whenever I see something that's just outrageous. I love it. Oh, Kita, you're gonna do a drawing session with me? Yay! That is the most real digital watercolor ever. Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Yeah, can you talk at all about how this was all made? Like, how are the watercolors real? Why are things the way they are? Did you consult artists?
We talked to tons of artists, and our engineers worked really, really hard on this brush engine that we have, and we've tried to perfect it so much and tweak it as much as possible, work with artists to see how we can get it to be as realistic as possible. So as we've been working on this, I think it's all the tweaking and all the feedback has really gotten us to this place where it does feel so real. And as you start to play with it more, you can start to get a hang of how to use your pencil and how to adjust your brushes and your brush settings to get it to just the way that you want it.
Totally. Yeah, when I first opened this and I was trying to do some oil painting, I was really trying to treat it like it was literally oil on a canvas, and it worked pretty well.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is real.
Yeah, we'll see the oil paint later. And I used to do some oil painting as well, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna try to approach this just like how I would in real life. And I was surprised because it really does pick up the paint and transfer the paint and mix the paint how you would in real life.
Right, yeah. I'm gonna switch my brush over from the wash flat to the detail, because I'm gonna add a couple little smaller gestures in here before we jump into the pixel or the raster brushes. Is Gemini an app? Cheryl wants to know.
Is Gemini an app?
Yes, it is an app.
Oh,
I'm on
yes,
an
it
iPad
is.
right now, which is impressive.
I
It's
know.
amazing.
It's really responsive too. I think it's like as you're drawing, it's happening in real time.
Yeah.
Like there's no lag I've experienced really.
No, especially with this newest version of the iPad and the new pencil, it's pretty amazing. Yeah, Paul, that's a great idea. And as for feature requests, this is a great place to voice them, because we can always take them to the team.
Yes, and Gemini is coming out this year,
Yes.
so not too long to go.
Yeah, thank you, Renee. Definitely. And I'm wondering, I think you asked earlier if anybody watched the Met Gala, and if so, who are your favorite
Yeah, we'd love
outfits?
to know.
I think we were talking earlier, Cardi B was pretty wild.
Lady
as
Gaga.
usual.
I mean, she was the host, so of course she had to have 4 different outfits, and I feel like that's
Yes.
just her style as well. To
Wasn't
be
she
so
just like in a
over the top.
sequined bikini and like a top hat?
At the end, yeah.
Okay, at the end.
It was a performance on the red carpet.
That's amazing. I loved saving all of those images. I was thinking maybe of drawing some of them today, but
I feel like this is this is a great one to start with. There's so much movement as well, which I feel like shows off like the watercolor brushes.
Right. So as you can see, it's not literally a direct representation, which one I don't want to do because it's already a photograph. Why would I want to replicate it totally? But it gets across this beautiful movement and the gesture. But there are these awesome ruffles in here, which we cannot ignore.
Of course, yeah.
So I wanted to bring in now a raster brush on top of my watercolors, almost as if I waited for the watercolor to dry on my paper, and now I'm bringing in like a pen and ink to finish up the lines. Oh, and Lupita Nyong'o had a dope dress. I'm not surprised. She's amazing. Lady Gaga snapped off though.
Yeah.
Totally. Pokey says it's the fact that you can undo the watercolor is amazing.
Yeah. I mean, if you mess up, that's the beauty of, I feel like, being in a digital program.
Mm-hmm.
Undo. Try again. Undo, try again.
Double
redo.
tap.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And we were talking earlier about how each artist might use this a little bit differently. So I'm a lefty, so I have my tools on the left, so I can just quickly boop, 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 tap as needed.
Mm-hmm.
And then I kind of keep my right hand over here, hovering, kind of resting on the iPad. And so when I want to undo something, say I mess up, I just double tap. So it's like having my hand resting on Control Z or Command Z.
And we'll also have ways for you to switch the toolbar, to customize
Mm-hmm.
your workspace. If you like to work without all of your without your tools and without your panels open, you can go into full screen mode. There's tons of ways to customize this just for how you want to work.
It's amazing.
Mark is asking if there's a dry button for the watercolors or oils. Yes, we will have a dry button as well. And another thing you can do is you can work on different layers so that those oils and watercolors don't interact or affect the other strokes that you're making. So if you wanted to have your pixel brush bleed into the watercolors or the oils and mix with them, you could work on that same layer, or you can just go onto a different layer and they'll be separated.
Right, that's kind of the workaround I've been using until that tool is totally functional, which is nice. Now I'm sad I have to wait for Gemini for Android. It's okay, Kita. You gotta do drawing sessions with me while you wait. It'll be great. You can customize everything. Yeah,
Yes,
Pokey.
it is awesome that you can completely play around with how you want to have your setup.
Just getting my perfect setup going right now. Isn't this what all artists do? You're like practicing, making sure it's perfect. But you're telling me before we started that in the brushes, you can open up for more brush settings, just like you can in Photoshop.
So you can play with like the scattering. You can actually draw in there as you're changing those settings, and you can see the differences as you're as you're playing with it. So you can go in and play with the jitter and the tilt and make it exactly how you want to use it.
And this is great for brushes that are more dynamically shaped, like a chisel brush or a larger texture brush. But for this, I'm just going to pretty much leave it as it was. I don't usually customize my brushes that much, especially if they're Kyle brushes, because they're already amazing.
So someone's asking, what's the little circle in the left corner? So that's actually our shortcut tool. I don't know if you've played with it, Kathleen, but this is a way to switch to different actions that you want to use. So right now we're in the pixel brush. So if you're drawing with the pixel brush, you can hold down that circle and it'll now become an eraser version of that brush, which is really cool because if you start to like fill in the hair or something and then you go a little bit too far, you can move it all around the screen. So you can use your right hand for that and you can draw with your left hand. So if you found that you've like made a mistake, you can just go back, touch that down, and erase. So it's really nice because it's not like you're using like a really big chunky eraser that kind of takes away from the feel that you're getting here.
And usually in Photoshop, I will just go up to my brush settings and change the mode to clear, but this is so much easier. It just does it for you. It's like an action or a shortcut.
Yep. So it's like just like that.
All right, let's start put some ruffles in here. This is the fun part.
Now we start to see all of that texture. What brush do you have?
I have my Sumi. I think it used to be called the Sexy Sumi.
Oh, okay.
But now it's just the Sumi.
Yeah, maybe that was too much.
Yeah, too much. Too hot, Adobe, too hot.
Yeah.
So these are my favorite pixel brushes, or raster brushes. So I have the pencil, obviously, because I mentioned I love that. And then Sumi, Dabby, and then the Impressionist and the Surat, or the Surah, are some of my my favorites. And I think those are included in the brush pack, the Photoshop version of them. So check those out. I'll be using them later.
I really like how these pixel brushes have so much texture just by drawing however you draw, you'll just have so much texture when you add different types of pressure.
I'm like really
or tilt.
fluctuating how
Yeah.
I'm kind of brushing up and down and how much I'm tilting the pencil, which is how I would draw on paper. So I love that it's translating super well. Man, time is flying.
Oh my
I love
gosh,
it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, better hurry up. Man. So I'm wondering, Chad, are you excited to play with Gemini?
Yes. What are you most excited about?
I'm just excited that it exists in the state that it is in now and that I get to play with it.
It's nice because you can just be on the go, wherever you are, start drawing, and then people will probably ask you, what is that you're using? What are you making?
Right. Like, let me tell you.
Yes.
So part of the sketches that I've been making, all of my characters are wearing like these big, sassy gloves. So prepare yourself for some gloves on all of my characters. We had a graphic designer named John Olson in a couple weeks ago, and he was making branding for like a glove company in New York, and I just got
now
really
it's the
inspired.
gloves. The gloves have so much power, I feel like.
I'm like,
in
why
an
aren't they a
outfit.
thing
Yeah.
anymore? Why don't people wear gloves? So cool. Look at that chunky hand.
People are also asking, can we import or create our own brushes? Yes, you can import your own brushes into Gemini, and if you have brushes in your libraries, they'll show up there automatically for you as well. So if you have all your brushes set up, you'll have them here in Gemini.
Yeah, so if you were part of the Photoshop DCC in February, I think, I made a brush pack for Valentine's Day, and it actually included some like texture or textile textures like lace. So those are loaded in here since I'm logged in with my
that's
Adobe
perfect
ID.
for your, oh my gosh, that is so perfect for your fashion illustrations. You can just go on the edge and that's like already a lace.
It's done.
Yeah.
I also have this really creepy one of my eyeballs that I might use.
You made them from your eyes?
Yeah.
Pictures of your eyes?
Yeah.
Whoa.
I
Oh my
mean,
gosh, yeah, you could just use that and stamp it on
I know, like
your
2
eye.
eyes.
That's
Well,
perfect.
I'll have to go into the brush settings. It's done. I need to make a Rush reference somehow. Okay, me and Mark Jacobs are Rush fans, the band. And Kathleen didn't import that brush pack. It was just part of my...
Yeah.
Yes, it automatically knew and uploaded. Thank you, Renee. You are a true hype woman for Gemini. I'm wondering what people in chat would want to make in Gemini. Anything?
Yeah, what types of things do you guys like to draw? What's your favorite subject? And I'm also interested in like how you choose what you're gonna draw next and like what your next project is gonna be, because I feel like there's so many things that you could draw, and how do you just start off and pick and go with that one? How do you know it's the one that you wanna draw at that moment?
Oh my gosh, I get so paralyzed by the fact that I have so many ideas. I'm like, well, I'm not gonna be able to make them all. I don't have enough hours in the day. Keita wants to do manga. Oh, this would be perfect for doing like webtoons. Oh my gosh, illustrations. Amazing. I'm excited to get some photos imported in here and like doodle on top of
that'll
selfies.
be really fun. Yep.
That'd be
You
fun.
can totally do that in Gemini.
Yeah, because I feel like everyone's always uploading pictures, it's just a photograph. And it's like, all right, cool, you got ice cream this weekend, great.
Why don't we make it fun? Add some of your eyeballs onto it.
Right, like make it a piece of artwork. What's up, Paul? Okay, so you're gonna do nature, flowers, and the human body.
Fish. Oh, fish are really fun. I've actually been trying to draw birds because they're super colorful, and I've been trying to work on texture with the feathers as well.
Yes.
We have some brushes in Gemini that are so like full of texture. Like the canvas brush flat is like one of my favorite ones.
Right.
You can really see that canvas texture come through, so it's fun to play with that.
Right. I saw you also like the go-go brush or the gua sha go-go. That's a good one.
Oh yeah, that one is also one of my favorites. Oh, Brooke wants to see the time-lapse at the end. So yeah, we also have a time-lapse feature. So maybe at the end we can sneak peek that and show it all in one video.
Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna turn off my sketch because I don't think we need it anymore. Cool.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Look how cool she is. I actually, oops, wrong layer. Happens in Photoshop, happens in Gemini. I was working on a different version of this sketch and posted it on Instagram yesterday. And I was gonna post the time lapse, but I messed up and it didn't work.
Oh.
So I like noodled around way too long and I was like, no one's gonna want to see this. But I think this will be more successful.
Okay.
Yes, it is a new app for painting and drawing specifically. And as someone who focuses on painting and drawing myself, I feel very seen and understood.
Yes, because this app is for you. It's for
Yes.
everyone who loves to draw and paint.
Right, and I know graphic design and vectors and what have you are very popular and in right now, but sometimes you just want to paint.
Sometimes you just want to use your mixed media brushes and go crazy.
Right, and this is really, like I said, a workflow that artists might use. You throw down your inks, let them dry, and then come back on top with a different type of ink. Okay.
Oh, we have tons of brushes. That means it's time for our giveaway.
We're going to do a chat and win.
Everyone, get in the chat. Let us know, what is your favorite thing to draw, or what are you most excited about, Gemini?
Yes, let us know, and we'll be right back.
Yes, we'll be right back. Hi everyone, we are back. Welcome back. We are doing some fashion illustration here with Kathleen.
Hi. Yep, and we want to know what you like to draw and what you're going to draw in Gemini.
Anime, portraits, characters. Ooh, cool.
Lucia says the easy mode.
Brushes. Anime, landscapes. That's really fun. Hair, cyberpunk. Wow. Lots of fun stuff. I'd love to see all of your work. The prize today is 100 free stickers from Sticker Mule. If you don't win, you can still get 10 stickers for $1, which is a great deal. So, everyone, let's see who's the winner.
Yes.
Second.
Very exciting. I've seen people use their 10 stickers for $1, and they'll post pictures like on the Adobe Live Discord channels and stuff. It's always so cool to see what people choose. Like, if I had 10 stickers, what would I make?
Yeah. Just answering some questions in the chat. Gemini is its own separate app. It's not a plugin, so it's coming out later this year. Okay, congratulations, Anthony King. You are the winner. Yay, Anthony.
Yay, Anthony, you're the proud winner of 100 free stickers from Sticker Mule.
What are you going to do with all of those stickers? Let us know. I'm really curious.
Yeah, let us know. Anthony, are you here? I actually haven't seen Anthony's name in the chat, so I hope you're actually here, Anthony.
Well, that's lucky for you, Anthony.
Oh, Dune's going to make mandalas. That's really
Cute
relaxing
animals.
and cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Okay, so I have exported the time-lapse because we all wanted to see it. So it's really easy. You just go to export time-lapse, blah, blah, blah. And it's saved to my photos. I'm going to press play, and hopefully it doesn't go too fast.
Woo!
Let's see all my playfulness.
Yeah, all of the stuff that you were doodling on in the beginning.
Wait.
Oh, cool.
It went like all the way back to the beginning.
Let's do that one more time.
One mo again. It's playing on Apple TV. Oh, okay.
Cool. Yeah, I love seeing the process from beginning to end, starting off with that photo that you have.
Yes, definitely. I love when time lapses, when I watch them, if there is this kind of repetitive texture, that's so satisfying. Just like, amazing. Mark says Elissa needs some stickers too.
I know.
Should have entered the chat and win.
I should have. I was too busy up here.
Yeah, I guess you were
it's
busy.
Okay.
Cool. Okay, so this is about as far as I want to go on this one. We're going to keep it gestural, keep it light.
It's beautiful.
And if we have time, I might come back. But I have a bunch of other things set up too.
All right.
So
Let's see.
Yeah, let's go to the home icon. Take me home, please. Thank you for saving my document.
Perfect.
So chat, I wanted to ask you, I think we're gonna do oils next. But do you want a lady with tons of ruffles, or do you want a lady with a cool hat?
Ooh.
Ruffles or hat? Say it in the chat.
That's a hard one.
Oh, that should have been the chat and win question.
Yeah, ruffles.
Ruffles
or
or hat? Yes.
So we're gonna look at the oils now. Fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
Give her a yellow E, Kathleen, to match your K. Oh yeah, I have a
would be
fuzzy
cool.
K on my computer. We need to get you an E.
Oh my gosh, yes, and yellow.
There you go. Is that your favorite color?
I love this color. I don't really have a favorite color.
They're all good.
They're all good, but I love bright colors. Okay, hat. Wow.
Okay, whoa.
I feel like we have our answer.
It's a hat mood,
Yep,
I
let's
guess.
do it.
Cool hat, right?
Oh my gosh, this is so cool. It's so different from your last one, which was so like fluffy and big, and this is like very contrasting.
Yeah. So
Cool.
I'll pull up the image that this is inspired by. This one is it's a lot less to work with. I I just have basically this top part of her body that
And the gloves.
Yes, and the gloves, of
Wow.
course. So I loved kind of the structure that's built into here. So I really wanted to nail that down in the sleeves and the shoulder. This is by Amelia Wickstead, if you wanted to know, a cool fashion designer. So let's see, yellow dress, blue gloves. That's all I need, I think. So we're gonna jump into our oil brushes, and they are live brushes, right?
So those are also our live brushes, so you can always go back into that layer and paint with those brushes, and it'll always mix colors again if you want to go and paint in that same layer. If you want to not have it mix colors, we have some settings on the brushes as well, or you can go onto a different layer and those colors won't mix. But they're live because you can always go back and play with those as if they were still wet in real life. So that's why we call it live. Same with the watercolor brushes. It's like they're always wet and you can always go back. But you will have an option to dry them as well.
So
now we're in our live brushes.
my Apple Pencil decided to stop working.
Oh no. Does it need a charge?
I don't think so. Let's try and connect it. These fancy new
There we go.
100%. Maybe I'll close Gemini and reopen it. That can always do the trick. Whoops. Whoops.
Oh yeah, so
Whoops.
Mark is asking if there's an eyedropper. Yep, so we have an eyedropper tool and we have a gesture, so if you're working and you are just picking colors, you can long press and then you'll sample that color and start painting with that color.
Yeah, I'll show that. Oh, I think my nib was unscrewed actually. Classic.
There we go.
Classic mistake. Yeah, Brooke. Okay, cool. So let's see if this works. Awesome. So back into oils, and let's see. I kind of
Which one are you using?
I was gonna say I like all of them. The Filbert has some nice texture.
It does. I really like that one.
But we don't really need texture yet. We're gonna be just filling in. I might do chunky.
Okay.
Being a little chunky today.
I mean, I think you can't go wrong with any of these brushes. Any of them that you choose will give you a really cool effect and texture.
Especially, yeah, this one is very textured, as you can see. Looks like
Oh
real
yeah,
paint.
can you see how globby that paint is?
Yep. And it's really like mixing within itself.
Oh my goodness,
And I'm just gonna do a little tutorial, little show and tell. Not even a tutorial, just a look at this, it's cool. So
Whoa, mixing those colors together.
and if we increase flow,
it's gonna be even
mixier.
thicker.
decrease it. It's just basically adding like a mixing medium. So whatever, grapeseed oil or whatever you use to mix it together. Awesome. And then we're gonna undo all that, and that's gonna be in our time
Time-lapse
Time
at the
lapse.
end. You'll see all these weird swirlies in the corner.
be like zoop. Awesome.
So yeah, we do have a beta, and if you want to be a part of it, you can sign up to the link that Brooke just posted in the chat, and you can sign up, and then you'll be able to play with it.
Yeah, you'll be the first to know. Very cool. I feel very special and lucky that I even get to play with it. It's awesome. All right, I think that works. I'm gonna go for more of like a sun. I almost said sun butter. Not that. Like a daffodil-y
Yeah, that's nice.
yellow. Cool. And I'm just gonna do kind of a boring outline, her clothing, and then I will go in and add those nice ruffles
Perfect.
when I'm done.
Yeah.
And since in that photo I couldn't see the rest of her outfit, I just assumed that this
Your
was like
own
a
interpretation.
super cool like pantsuit power outfit.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Just doing kind of a rough fill in here.
What's your favorite color?
I don't think I have one either.
Yeah.
I like pretty much all colors. Although I was talking about this somewhere, maybe Instagram, maybe Adobe Live, but I'm always using primary colors. I always like start with blue, and then I'm like, well, what's like the opposite of blue, like kind of orangey red? And like, well, what's kind of in the middle, because I want to add some middle shades. I'm like, yellow. And I was like, well,
And then it's just yellow.
It's
red,
just primary
blue,
colors.
yep, green.
I just need to embrace it. Okay, so I'm going to turn down the flow a little bit because I don't want it to be too pigmented. And let's do that.
Do any of you guys oil paint in real life? I'm excited to know and see what you guys think of Gemini if you're doing this in real life and how it compares.
Definitely. When it comes to painting, it's smart to stay more like shape oriented. So I'm gonna try not to do too many like outlines and actual lines, more shapes.
Yeah, and you can see how it's really mixing in there. Just a little slight change of color. You can see how it's really adding into that existing yellow.
It's beautiful, especially when you're trying to mix like skin tones. This is really, really nice.
Another cool thing that we have in the oil brushes in the brush settings is we have a toggle, so it's to reload the brush color right there. So as you start painting on the canvas, if you want it to act like you're taking that color that you have selected and add it, then we'll reload it for you. But if you want to have that off, you can toggle that off. And then as you start painting, it'll keep that color that's been mixed on the canvas on your brush. So you have a choice of like, in real life, would I keep adding more of that color, or would I just keep the color on the brush that's been mixed in with the paint?
Right. Am I using a different, like picking up literally a different brush, or am I using the same one?
And you can turn down the flow, so it can just kind of be like a dry brush without as much pigment on there.
Right. Paul says, you can't tell on stream, but Kathleen actually smells the oil paint in Gemini.
Yeah, it's really strong.
Some fumes. First, Paul, I thought you said Kathleen actually smells like oil paint. I was like, Paul? How do you know? You aren't here, I don't think. That's funny.
But yeah, it's nice there's no mess.
Kita says, I've never oil painted, only colored digitally. You said that you've painted before, right?
I have done oil painting before, and it does smell very strong. It does stain your hands, and it does stain your clothes. So
and it never dries.
Yeah, and it never dries. Takes like a week to dry, so you have to, if you want to have something where it's dried, you have to come back a week later to your painting.
That's a beautiful
thing about
this.
You can just go on to a different layer.
Seriously, I remember in college we'd have painting like finals due, and everyone's paintings were always still like sopping wet.
Yeah,
like,
and you're like, here you go.
Yeah, I know.
All your hands are covered in paint.
Oopsies. Oh, I was painting on the wrong layer. Happens in Photoshop, happens in Gemini. Human error. It's not your fault, Gemini. It's me. I'm at fault. Okay, let's add a little bit of orange into. I was wondering why that was so pigmented. Come on now. Hello? Oh, maybe I didn't turn on. Oh, yeah, there we go.
Oh, yep. See the reload brush color?
It got me.
There we go. Now there's the orange.
Right, I want to kind of differentiate this side of the pant leg because I want it to be obvious that it's not a skirt.
Yes.
It's pants. At least no more cadmium. Yeah, that's true. Don't use cadmium in our pigments.
I had a friend bake his paintings to do dry quicker. Let's just say he never did it again. Yeah, I don't know if
I've heard of that. Yes.
Bake your paintings. I mean, it has to be small enough to put in an oven.
That's
or
true.
I guess you have to have like a heat gun or something.
Yeah, I've heard of people like just setting their ovens to like a super low heat.
God.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know if those fumes are good to breathe in your house either.
Please don't. Oh my gosh. I don't like how vibrant that is. Let's go. A little desatch. I love a good gray blue.
Oh, yeah. That is really nice.
Oh yeah. I've been loving making these kind of chunky, big hands, so I'm glad that gloves are a thing.
What are you going to do with the umbrella?
That's a good question.
I mean, I guess it could match her gloves.
Yeah, I was thinking it
What
might
do you
be...
guys want the umbrella color to be?
And I have a good pattern idea, but tell me what color. Because I think this might be a good time to use the selection tool and maybe like a half-tone brush.
Yeah, you can go ahead and use the selection tool to trace like the outline of the umbrella or to do a part of it and then fill that in.
Right. So this is feeling pretty like loosey-goosey and fun, but it's feeling too oily. So I'm going to go back into my live brushes, go back to watercolor.
Salmon pink, complementary color.
Ooh. Idea.
Yep, no blow dryers necessary in Gemini. I feel like it's a lot safer here.
Yeah. I think I might put some pink into her dress and then use it for the main color for the...
that would be nice.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm back in watercolor. I'm going to use watercolor with oil.
So you can't really do that in real life.
No, you cannot.
That doesn't really work if you've tried it. But let's see how that works here. Ooh, wow. Yes, it's blending.
And it kind of is unexpected. Like you don't always know exactly how it's gonna look. And it's even kind of drying as I'm looking at it. So I like how that looks, although I'm gonna erase how it's kind of bleeding over here. But I'll come back to that once I'm done adding it everywhere. And another beautiful thing about layers is you can lock transparency. So if I don't want it to go outside the lines, I can.
Yep, you can just give a nice big wash of color.
Yeah,
and
so
it'll
I'm kind of
stay in
scribbling
there.
like crazy, but
Yeah.
it's really just staying in her pants. Nice.
That looks great.
Okay. Cool, so much texture, so much fun going on here. I am going to unlock the transparency so that I can go in and erase. There is an eraser tool. You can use the multitasking little widget thing, but I am just going to use the eraser just to clean this up really quick. Because it's okay if that's a harsh line. I do not mind.
Yeah, I mean, she has those like jagged shoulders with the...
Big shoulder mood. All right, so we said salmon pink for the umbrella. I'm just going to go on a new layer just because I kind of like to keep things separate.
Yep, Tim, this is the small iPad Pro. Or no, actually, this is the larger one that we're working
Is
on,
it?
right?
It's the 12.9.
12.9
I
inch.
wouldn't know. This is the only one I've ever played with.
12.9. Yes. I have the smaller one, and this works on the smaller one as well.
Nice. Cool. So this is actually a great opportunity to use the polygonal lasso tool and just the free transform. So I'm going to go tappy,
Oh, yeah, and then we get that nice straight line.
tappy, tappy,
And then curve, curve.
draw,
Yes.
draw. It's amazing. You don't have to like click anything else or know any hotkeys. It's really intuitive. I think that's one of the best parts of Gemini. Then I said I was going to use some halftone brushes. So let's go
Which ones are
into...
you using?
I'm going to go into the comics.
Cool.
Thank you, Kyle Webster.
Yes, for these really cool fun brushes. And these are included in Gemini as well. So you can totally play around with these fun brushes.
Right, so I'm going to kind of fill in the bottom a little bit more. And then if you just go to the bottom, the transform, I guess, tools will always be there if you have something selected. So I'm just going to tap deselect.
There we go.
And maybe I'll fill in her hat with that texture
yeah.
too.
That's a good match.
Actually, when I was talking with Brooke a while ago, we were trying to brainstorm some cool ways to use this tool. It's like you draw a selection.
Oh, yes, that's like the brush selection tool.
Right, so I think I'm going to use it for her hat and
Yeah.
see how it goes.
Yeah, so you can start drawing and it acts like the shape of a brush. So you can start making a selection just like that.
Right, and it's really pressure sensitive, so if I press hard, it gets bigger.
Gets nice and globby.
Yes. So I'm not going to try and be too precious about the selection. My hand's over here like, why?
And you
with my
can
hands?
adjust the size of that brush as well. And you can add to your selection. You can subtract from your selection if
Yeah.
you made a mistake, if you
Right.
made it a little bit too big as well.
So I'm kind of cutting into my selection right there, but I'm going to undo that because I like my selection. Thank you very much.
And you can also make a mask. Paul Tranny's saying make a mask. I mean, we could try that if you want
Yes.
to do that.
Let's do that. But first, I'm going to fill this in.
Okay. Ooh, yeah, that
That's
looks
just polka
really
dots.
cool.
And then maybe I'm going to make this a little bit smaller. And I'm going to fill in kind of a more dense texture at the bottom to show kind of
Cool.
a shadow.
Wow.
I was not expecting to do that with the hat, but you know, there you go. Can you
Yeah.
watercolor clear? You can
Well-
watercolor white.
Yeah, you can, and you can turn down the opacity on your color so that it's just like it's a clear brush that you're using, or it's just like the water just has brush. The brush just has water on
Yeah,
it.
there you go.
So yes, you can do that.
I'm gonna make her little braid a shade of this blue, and I'm just gonna tap on this blue to pick it up.
Long press for the eyedropper.
You know.
So the app Kathleen is using is Project Gemini, and it's coming out later this year. It's a focused drawing and painting app on the iPad. So that's what we're looking at today.
This is
Oh, I
actually
love her
good.
hair.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is a great opportunity to show how you can blend colors to make maybe it look more like it's actually braided. So let me try my hand at that. See how it turns out. All right, so I'm gonna pick a much lighter blue, and I might even change.
Some of the settings, maybe.
I think this is okay actually. All right, make sure that it's gonna pick up and mix a lot. Make it a little bigger.
Changing the size and everything.
All right.
Oh, cool. Okay, now we're mixing those the oil colors.
Yeah.
Yes, this is Gemini. Pokey Hun is asking, can we buy that outfit, Kathleen?
Someone should make this. Actually, the designer already made it, I guess. But isn't it cool? This is one of my favorite parts about fashion illustration is even if I'm inspired by a certain piece, I still get to make some of the decisions. Which...
And you get to go completely abstract with it as well and make it really crazy and fun if you want to, or super technical as well.
Yeah. And I'm zoomed in pretty far, and this isn't set at a huge PPI, so it's getting a little pixely, but that's pretty cool. Dig it. What color should her skin be? I kind of like to do otherworldly shades.
Yeah, everyone, what do you think her skin color should be? Some out there colors would be fun.
Yeah. Maybe...
Maybe like...
I've used all the colors.
like red tone.
Ooh, a nice red?
I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
green, like a little bit slightly green. I don't know. What do you guys think for
A little
the
alien
next
mood.
color?
Yeah. I'm going to do like this pastel, almost Eastery green. And I'm going to use, let's use a vector
Purple.
brush. Why not? Ooh, that was magical, whatever just happened with the screen. Leave it white, shade it with a pinkish orange. Ooh, that's a good idea. Maybe I'll shade it with the green. No? Yes. And I will not use a vector brush. I will use...
Which one are you going to use?
Maybe Dabby? Dabby's pretty cool. Okay. I'm going to make a selection
There we go. Yes.
around the skin that I want to, and I'm not being too careful here. Let's see, where else is her skin? That's pretty much it. And this way...
we just have the shoes left.
Oh, yeah.
That'll be fun. Oh, cool. Yeah, I like that color.
It's a little unexpected. And then I'm going to change my blend mode to multiply. Let's change the color to this blue. And size it down and add a little bit of a shadow.
Oh, cool. Under the hat. I like that.
And maybe even under her chin a little bit.
Paul says extreme makeup. Maybe that's another video. Makeup.
Painting makeup is pretty
painting
fun.
makeup.
Cool. She looks so
Yeah.
much different than I expected her to look.
That looks awesome.
It's so fun. Oh, actually, this is perfect because in my sketch, she's shooting a laser out of her hand. I don't know why. She's just like unimpressed with your
She's just
choices.
like, laser, laser,
Like,
laser.
see ya. Oh my gosh, we're almost out of time.
Oh, wow. Okay. Do we have another one that you're going to...
I can start on another one and see how
Okay.
quickly I can do it. But we only have about 10-ish minutes left.
Yeah.
So if you
Any
have
other
questions.
questions about Gemini or anything else you'd like to see?
Ask away.
I know that someone wanted to see masking, so maybe we can show off
Sure.
making a mask.
Do you have a favorite way to make a mask in this? I should ask first.
an easy way to do it, we could just use the shoes and we can go ahead and make a selection around the shoes.
With the selection tool.
With the selection tool.
On its own layer. Or a
Yep.
different one. Okay.
Yeah, maybe make a new layer.
Cool. Actually, I'm going to use the polygonal because these shoes are very geometric. Boom, 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 boom.
Oh yes, perfect.
It's all about efficiency, baby.
Super fast. Okay, now we can go into the ... behind underneath the trash can and do create a mask.
This one.
Yes, and then you'll see on the layer we have that little black dot on the right, and if you swipe on that,
Swipe.
left. Now you'll see that those shoes, there's a mask in the shape of the shoes. So you can go ahead and, if you go to your pixel brush, you can change the shape of your mask by revealing or hiding, which is really cool. So,
I guess you can't see because there's nothing painted in there.
yeah, so another way that you can see is if you go to the ... under the trash can, you can say View Mask Overlay. And that's a way where you can actually see the shape of the mask. So if you wanted to fix anything that you have
can
here,
zoom
so
in.
like you can zoom in and then you can
Maybe I want to
hide some of that. Yep.
fix this up a little bit. Boom. And then you would kind of use it just as you would use it in Photoshop. Why would you
And
mask
then
this?
if you swipe back.
Hold on.
Oh, sorry. Getting ahead of myself here. Oh, yeah, so you're going to take those out. Good idea.
I like how you can mask with texture. It's awesome.
Oh, yeah, so you can mask with any types of brushes, which is really cool.
Okay.
So if you swipe back, you can go ahead and paint with your brush, and then it'll be contained in the shape of that mask, which is another really easy way to just paint inside of these shapes.
Look at me, I'm just willy-nilly out here. It's doing all the work for
Yep.
me.
You can just go crazy.
I am gonna go crazy. Watch me. Here we go. Crazy. And I'm using the dabby brush, so you can see some really nice textures happening in here. Also, really nice textures can be found with the Impressionist brushes. So if I just grab Impressionist, maybe change the color just a wee bit.
Oh, cool. Yeah. That's awesome.
It's like I'm doing a pointillism or adding texture without even having to try.
There we go. Cool.
Okay. There we go. People are saying, are we going to be back tomorrow with this? I wish.
I know, I wish.
Let's make this an every week kind of thing. Oh wait, the laser. Laser is the most important
We will
thing.
be showing some more of Project Gemini, though, in the future.
Will
on
we?
some live streams.
I think the laser just needs to be...
Oh, yeah. Bright, cool, crazy color, huh?
Yeah. But which one? Maybe green.
Yeah, maybe green to match the hair. Tie
It's
it all
gotta be
together.
cohesive, yeah. All this craziness. All right, I'm gonna use...
So if you want some updates, remember to follow at Adobe Drawing on Instagram for some drawing and painting updates. And we'll have a link as well for you to sign up to learn more about Gemini and possibly be a part of the beta if you're interested.
Yeah! All right, one more little thing. I know we only have a couple minutes left. I'm just getting so inspired and having so much fun.
I love that laser. Oh, what are you adding now?
It's gotta say pew.
Perfect.
It's the little details, you know?
Pew. And yes, my name is Elissa Welsh, and this is Kathleen Martin.
Hi. So jealous of Kathleen. Why though? There's so many reasons. Okay.
Oh my gosh, that looks great.
Yay. Okay, let's jump into one more.
Yes, and we actually have a hashtag on Instagram, hashtag Project Gemini, and you can see some people who are already in the beta and some of their work that they've been creating. Kathleen, I think you posted one of your works of your other fashion illustrations that's actually in the background here on Instagram, so you can go on Instagram and check that out as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna use the vector brushes. Let's use like the basic taper. I really want to make this, first of all.
Time for the vector brushes.
Yeah, and I know we only have a couple minutes left, so if you have questions, ask them because
Only a few minutes left.
I know. It's not really out there yet, so this is the perfect time to get your questions asked, potentially answered, possibly teased. Who knows? So I've done a version of this before where I did just some like colorful line art. So I'm going to do that. I'm basically just going to...
Ooh, look at that.
That went a little
vector
while.
brush?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
And
change
these,
this a little.
you can have them really react to the pressure as well and have it grow as you saw, as Kathleen was drawing, in size as you're pressing harder, and you can really control how it changes as well. I think these vector brushes are great for stuff with a lot of movement and flow that you can show, like those ruffles on her sleeves are great.
Right. And one of my coworkers, Lydia Lukianova, she's like the master of the taper brush. Also, Brian Yap. He's amazing. So, Lydia, if you're watching, I can't wait to see what you make with these beautiful tapered brushes.
So yeah, Project Gemini, someone asked, how did Gemini get its name? That's what it's called right now, but it's not the final name, so just wait.
Yes.
But actually, the reason we made that the code name is because we had vector and pixel brushes in one app, like from Adobe Draw and Adobe Sketch. We put it in one app, so it's like Gemini, the two faces. So that's why we called it that as the project name.
It's very apropos, I would say. Amazing.
Definitely.
Thank you, Pokey. Oh, Dune, I'm so glad to hear that you like this. You know, I was a little nervous to be a guest. I'm usually the host. I'm usually sitting over there, and I don't actually have to prove that I know what I'm talking about.
Well, you definitely proved it because it looks great.
Thanks. I've had a lot
Super
of fun. Yay. I know this is a quick and abstract, but like we said at the beginning, I thought it'd be a great way to show how you can mix pretty much anything you want in this beautiful little app.
Yeah.
Ooh, that movement though.
Oh my gosh. It looks so cool. I love those shoes as well.
Yeah,
Don't
I
look
want
very
them.
comfortable.
No.
But, you know, beauty is pain sometimes,
Yeah, she
as
deals
they
with
say.
it. Just a little bit of a nuance of a line there. So, and if people want to make work, like you said, they should go follow Adobe Drawing on Instagram, hashtag Project Gemini.
Yes. at Adobe Drawing or hashtag Project Gemini, you can see what people are already creating, and we'll have a link as well for you to check out the beta.
And then behind all of this, before we end, one last little hurrah. I'm going to do a big old swash of fun color.
Oh, yes.
Using that beautiful vector brush. Maybe I'll use a flat brush. A little bigger. Go big or go home, y'all.
I'm so happy all of you are really excited for Project Gemini to come out.
Yes, I'm sure you are proud.
Yes,
as
we're
part of-
all super excited for you to see it.
Okay, I think maybe turn this to multiply. Ooh, it's always fun to come in
Cool,
at the
yeah.
end and play with these. Okay, so we've done this quick little vector playtime, and like we said, if you were to take it into actual Illustrator, you'd be able to edit
You
the
can
points.
definitely edit all of those vector points.
And it's beautifully sharp and crisp compared to, the pixels over here. Kita is so excited.
Yay!
I'll do a quick little show and tell of the 3 things that we worked on. So we started with the watercolor. This one's my favorite.
Yeah, I love
think.
this one. It's
Yeah.
so cool. It's really abstract. And that hand.
That glove dough. What does she have in there?
Perfect.
I love her little buns too. She's like
Yeah.
so unimpressed with everything. So this was watercolor, and you can see the beautiful mixing with some ink on top. So all pixely, although the watercolor is live. And like if I were to go back to the watercolor
You
layer,
can keep mixing.
Yeah.
You can keep
It
painting.
would be
Those
live.
colors would mix together. You can always go back and alter this
and
if you wanted
then
to.
second lady, we talked about the oil paint, so you can see the beautiful texture here. We locked the transparency so it wouldn't get messed up. It's got a little pew.
So, yeah, so painterly. I love it.
And then we just did the vectors. Aw, thanks, Pokey. Awesome. Project Two-Face. Project, where is she? Cool. So anything
Yeah.
else before we leave? Say
I don't
goodbye.
think so. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. If you
Yes.
have any more questions, check out at Adobe Drawing on Instagram. We'll post the link for the beta, and check out hashtag Project Gemini on Instagram as well. And thank you so much, Kathleen, for sharing your
course.
amazing fashion illustrations with us.
And
And
thank
thanks
you.
all for tuning in.
Right. Thank you for your first time hosting. She did a great
Thank
job,
you.
everyone. Little round of applause.
Yay.
Hopefully you'll be back soon.
Yes, hopefully.
Cool.
Okay.
Thanks, everyone. See you later.
We'll see ya.
Bye.